Well, hello everyone. It is Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, actually 7:01. So that means that it's time for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Thank everyone for joining in with me on tonight. Please like, share, add a friend, tell someone else that Mother Teresa is on. Tonight, we're going to be talking about finding balance, the key to harmony in your life. So, we're just going to be talking a little bit about the things that we can do in our life to bring a little bit of balance. So if you know someone that needs to hear this type of conversation or this type of going on, you need to call them and you need to let them know that, hey, Mother Teresa is on and she's grandstanding on tonight. Again, thank everyone for being here on with me on tonight. And as I've often stated, that when I am grandstanding as a professional social worker, that's what I do in my 9 to 5. But when I'm grandstanding, we're just talking about what we're talking about. So I am not your licensed social worker. I am Mother Teresa, just giving you some personal strategies and tips in hopes that it will make your life a little bit easier and better. So with that, getting all those disclaimers out of the way, let's just jump right into it. Listen, you all, when we're talking about finding balance, guess what? As a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a entrepreneur, as a all of those different things. Listen, we're busy. A grandmommy, I'm busy. I am really, really busy. And sometimes the busyness can kind of get the best of me if I don't take care to find that balance. And a lot of times, what people will do, or what often times we try to do, is we try to compartmentalize our lives. We have our work life over here, and we have our family, and we have our church, and we have our social life, and we have all those different parts that we try to keep all separate. But guess what? We are one individual. So all of those things make up who we are. And because all of those things make up who we are, we have to be sure that we are taking all of those things and giving them the appropriate amount of time. We cannot say that we're going to spend all of our time over here working, or we're going to spend all of our time over here, doing our social life and different things like that, because guess what? You're going to be out of balance. And if you're out of balance, it's just kind of like a car. If you have, if you need some air in your tires on the right side, guess what? One side is going to be leaning. That car is not going to operate as smoothly and as efficiently as it should. And maybe that's not using a good example, but that's what came to me. So, but making sure that we're finding balance. And one of the first things that came to my mind is that how we try to separate so many different parts of our lives, but we have to learn how to integrate all of those different parts of our lives, because we are one person. So we got to make sure that it works. We got to make sure we're giving our family enough time. We got to make sure, of course, we're giving our work enough time. They're going to make sure of that. And I thank God I love my job, so I give it the amount of time that I should be. But I heard one lady say when we were at a retreat, she said, when I am at work, I give it 100%. As a matter of fact, I think she said I give it like 110%. She says I give it everything that I know I'm supposed to give and more. Hey, Ebony. Hey, family. But when I'm at home, she said, I give my family 110% as well. She said, when I'm at work, my family is, over here doing whatever. And she said, and vice versa. She said, but when I leave work, my family, I'm not thinking about work. I am going home to my family so I can give them that 110%. So that's exactly what you got to do. You got to make sure, like I said, living in harmony with yourself, making sure everything you've integrated those things that are part of your life together so they can all operate in balance. And the next thing that I like to say is that sometimes we got to shake things up in order to straighten some things out. And that make it kind of sound crazy, in the counseling world. Sometimes you might hear people say, well, you got to lose your mind in order to find your mind, and so, but it all makes sense. Sometimes you've got to lose your balance in order to find your balance, because so many times we're trying to control every single thing, but we cannot control everything. And a lot of times when you're that person that you're trying to control everything, guess what? You're already out of balance. Not only are you out of balance, but you're probably really, really stressed because you're trying to control everything. But sometimes we just got to let the chips fall where they may. And like I said, you got to shake some things up in order to straighten some things out. And letting go of trying to be in control of everything is one of the things that we have to learn to do. And then also, sometimes we have to realign some of the things that we have in our lives and realign some of the ways that we're spending our time. Again, like I said, if you are way out of whack with spending too much time at work, guess what? Your family's going to suffer. Your family's going to suffer, and none of us want that to happen. Most of us will say that our family is the most important thing and our family comes first. But sometimes you can't tell that, because guess what? Every time something is required of you outside of your family, you will put your family second or on the back burner while you go and take care of those things. And I'm saying be very careful about that, because guess what? You got to come home to that family. All right. You can't live at work. You can't live doing these social things. You got to make sure that you're taking care of home first. So, what are some of the things? I do have a couple of more things. Oh yeah, somebody is liking that. Somebody is liking that. Thank you. You can like it with some hearts. You can like it with some thumbs up. You can even like it with some stars. And stars means that you're helping to financially support the content that I'm giving out. So hey, if you like it, let me know that you like it. All right. So another thing that you can do is to prioritize your activities. I'm not saying you need to stay at home and be a homebody and don't do things that you enjoy doing. I'm saying do those things, but prioritize your activities. We know that a lot of times that when we are, well, some of you all have heard the saying, we need to keep the main thing, or make the main thing the main thing. We got to make sure that we are doing that, because for me, I would say making sure that you've prioritized your activities so you can make sure that you're taking care of your business and your family business. And while I'm right here, when I talk about making sure that you prioritize your activities, listen, ladies, one of the biggest, and gentlemen, but mostly I'm talking to the ladies right now. One of the hardest things that I think that we do, or we find ourselves being unable to do, is say no. It's okay to say no. And when you say no, you don't need to give an explanation. Okay? If you know that you have been spending too much time doing some things that that is taking you away from your family or is causing you to be out of balance, say no, I can't do it this week. Or no, this is not fitting into my schedule. Or no, I just can't do it. Like I said, no explanation is necessarily needed, but learning to say no is one of the most powerful things that I know that I had the opportunity of sharing with a group of women several years ago. And it was called boundaries. Sometimes we forget and we allow everything to get in our space, and we've got to maintain those boundaries. And boundaries are healthy and they are good for you if you maintain those boundaries. It's just like a good fence between neighbors. You got to have those boundaries, because otherwise, guess what? Your neighbor's going to be camping out in your backyard. They're going to be building tree houses in your backyard. They're going to be putting a swimming pool in your backyard. So if you have a fence, guess what? That keeps them out of your yard, and also it keeps you out of their yard. Absolutely, Ned. No is a complete sentence. It absolutely is. We got to learn to use that. Got to learn to be able to say no and mean it. And then don't go back and second guess yourself. If you say no, walk away from it and leave it alone. Guess what? Sometimes people will probably respect you more because you did set that boundary and you did say no and you walked away from it. Because guess what? That is something that a lot of people cannot say, or don't have the, I guess, the whatever to say no, because a lot of times if you're a people pleaser, guess what? We want to say yes because we want to be liked. We want to be a part of the crowd. We want to be, in with the in group or whatever. So it's always a yes. It's always, I'll do it. Let me do it. No, 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 no. It's time out for that. If you want to find some balance, learn to say no. And then also, one of the other things that when we're talking about balance is the key to harmony in our lives. Guess what? Balance is part of a mindset. It's a shift in your thinking. It's a shift in the way that you perceive things to be in your mind. And in order to get your mind right, you got to spend some time with just you. You got to spend some time with God. You got to spend some time doing those things that's going to get your mind right. Okay? So many times we flood our minds and we put all kinds of junk in our mind, but and it allow us to just kind of, you got to protect those, like they say, you protect your eye gate, your ear gate, all of those different things so that your mind will be clear and you can weed out some of those things. And so many times when I say protect your mind, protect your thoughts, protect those things that you allow to come in, because we are living in such a fast paced society, and there's always noise. And sometimes the noise is just there and we don't even realize the things that we are allowing to infiltrate our minds. You can hear that humming or that song that's playing in the background and you're really not even thinking about it, but there's probably some words or some lyrics that's probably, if you were really paying attention, you would probably change it. But because you are just kind of sitting there just soaking things in, or you're, maybe just kind of preoccupied with other things, it gets in your mind, it gets in your spirit. And sometimes you'll find yourself afterwards either singing some of those lyrics or padding that beat and whatever. And then you have to catch yourself and you're like, yeah, where did that come from? Well, you've unassumingly or be unaware allow that stuff to just filter through your mind. And then sometimes conversations with people, sometimes you are in the mix of different people and their conversations may not be what you are typically would allow to get into to your psyche, so to speak. But then you don't say anything. They say something that is a little bit maybe kind of either off color or insensitive, and you don't say anything, that's disturbing your balance, okay? Because when you allow all of that stuff to just kind of sit in and just allow it to just kind of infiltrate your mind. Hey, Miss Linda, I'm glad you're here tonight. Infiltrate your mind. It takes away the harmony and the balance in your life, okay? And so we've got to make sure that we are protecting our balance, protecting our mind at whatever cost necessary. Sometimes when you can go to, you may be enjoying or certain activities and you decide, hey, I'm going to go to this place and I just want to hang out. But then sometimes it can be different things that start happening in that place or in that environment that you don't tolerate, or you don't participate in those types of things. It's okay to get up and leave. It's okay to get in your car and say, hey, either I'm going to find another place to go and hang out, or I'm going to go home, or I'm going to do whatever. You don't have to just sit there and let that stuff, disrupt your balance, the balance in your life. And another thing that I would say is that when you're talking about being balanced, make sure that you have the right people in your lives, okay? Sometimes when we don't have the right people in our lives, it can also cause our balance to be off, because we are going back to what I was saying about people pleasing. If you have some people in your lives that are not, maybe living the same type of, let's just say, have some of the same values that you have. And so they're doing some things that's maybe not acceptable to you, that you wouldn't find yourself doing, guess what? You probably need to make sure that you get a different set of friends, or you're not with that person as much as you've been hanging out with them and doing things like that, because sometimes we just go along to just go along. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to cause anybody to feel uncomfortable or whatever, so we just kind of go along with it. But listen, you all, finding and keeping your balance, that is so very important. And it's important for your physical being, but it's really important for your emotional and mental health. Okay. We know what happens when we are off balanced and things begin to kind of go sour. What happens to our mental health? Guess what? Depression is real. And when I say depression is real, you all, when you are off balance, a lot of times that's what opened the gateway for, different types of mental health issues to come into to surface or come into play. You decide that, you don't want to go out of the house anymore. You don't want to do this. And it could be just, that you're depressed. And that means that something is off balance. Now, what do you have to do? You have to figure out what's going on. Okay. You need to figure out what's going on so you can try to get that balance back. And when I talk about mental health, that's my everyday life. That's what I deal with. Yes, Samuel says, yes, it is. That's what I deal with every single day. And I deal with young people, students that have caused them to be off balanced. And because they are off balanced, what they want to do is they want to cut themselves. They want to kill themselves. They want to harm themselves. And sometimes it's not themselves that they want to hurt, it's other people that they want to hurt. So you know that when someone is cutting themselves or want to kill themselves or want to hurt other people, something is off balance. Something is definitely off. So the key to that is finding out what is going on in your lives and what do you need to do in order to get yourself back on balance, back into where you need to be. As a mental health professional, it's nothing wrong with having a counselor. There's nothing wrong with believing in God and also having a counselor. So if you know that you are in need of some mental health care, please reach out. Call. First of all, if you're at a point where you don't want to call and talk to a licensed mental health professional, find a trusted adult that you can call and talk to. And I'm pretty sure most of the people that are on here listening right now are adult age, So find someone that maybe is in your circle, maybe a trusted friend. It could be a family member, just somebody that's going to give you wise counsel, somebody that is going to listen to you, someone that's not going to be judgmental. Okay. Someone that's going to listen and they're going to give you an opportunity to vent. And I'm going to tell you, venting is a great thing. Sometimes all people need to do is to vent, say what they need to say, get it off their chest, get the stuff off their shoulders, and they're good. They're good. They don't need anything else. They just needed to say what they needed to say, and they're done with it. Okay. And when you can do that, and sometimes we got to be careful in what we say and how we say it. But if you're with a trusted adult, with a safe person, hopefully they will allow you to say what you need to say in the manner in which you need to say it, and then move on. And then also, guess what? Not only are you being able to talk to that person, but hopefully once you get yourself in line, once you kind of get yourself back balanced, guess what? There is somebody else that need to come and talk to you, and somebody that needs to come and vent to you. And guess what? You got to be in the right frame of mind to hear them. You've got to be that person. Maybe it's time for you to stand in the gap for somebody because somebody's been standing in the gap. Maybe it's your turn to stand in the gap. Maybe that's the reason why you need to get yourself balanced, because you need to be the person that somebody can come in and vent to you. Okay, let me just tell you all, life is full of things that's happening every single day, things that can definitely get us off balance. But guess what? I want y'all to have some hope. I want y'all to know that things will work out the way that they're supposed to. And I know that to be true. You know, times have been crazy for my family in the past, and even sometimes now. But guess what? We stayed focused. We stay connected to God. We stay connected to each other. We continue to pray. We continue to reach out and not only reach out to one another, but sometimes we got to reach out to other people outside of family because, like I said, it's okay to have God and have a counselor too. So when you're off balance, when you're needing to find that balance, you go where you need to go in order to find the balance, okay? And that's within reason. Like I'm not telling you to go out it. Like I said, find a trusted adult that is, you know, someone that you can trust. But again, make sure that you have that line of communication open where you can talk to different ones and they can listen to you. Let me just tell you, one of the things I do know is that most people want the best for you. Okay. If you've surrounded yourself with some good people, they really want the best for you. Okay. It's kind of difficult to pour out your spirit and pour out your information with a person who doesn't want the best for you. But hopefully you will learn who that is really, really quickly and you will separate yourself from that person. Okay. Because we want to make sure that we are investing our time and our energy into somebody that wants to be in our lives, okay? And I know I'm beginning to kind of ramble a little bit, but listen, you all, find those people in your lives that you can trust, that you can have conversations with, that is encouragers, that want to build you up. And not only that, but then you can do the same thing for them. Because when we have lost the balance in our lives, that can be a miserable thing, you all. We can be miserable, and guess what? We make the other people around us miserable because we're unhappy, because we're in a state of unbalanced or whatever, or unbalanced. Then we tend to kind of put that on other people, and that's not fair. That is not fair to the people that are in our lives. As a mom, I want to make sure that I'm being the best mom that I can be to my son that is still in the house with me, and of course to my children and my husband, my husband who is here, that tries to do everything for me. Thank God for my husband, you all. Sometimes it is your spouse that you need to be confiding in and talking to in order to try to get yourself back in balance. Because guess what? They said, I do till death do us part. So guess what? There's your confidant person right there. The other thing that I wanted to share with you all, and this is a plug for my book, is that journaling is so very helpful, you all. I'm going to keep saying that because I done wrote these books. I got to sell them, okay? So if you haven't picked up your two books, Tales from the Clothesline and Conversations from a Mother's Heart, please pick those up. Because when you are trying to find balance, and this is what I know about journaling, when you get in the practice of journaling and putting down your thoughts on paper, the Bible says to write it on tablets, write the vision, make it plain, so people may read it and run with it, okay? And so when you are writing and when you are journaling, that is so, first of all, it's therapeutic for you because you're able to empty out. You're able to empty out the thoughts and the feelings that you're having, and you're being able to put those on paper. Hopefully you'll go back in the months to come, and hopefully some of those things that you've journaled about, either they have changed for the better, or those are things that you can say, oh, you know, I can cross that off of my list. But get in the practice of journaling and writing down things. You know, what are some of the things that you aspire to do? What are some of the goals that you want to set? What are some of the things that may have you a little bit off balance that you need to kind of get some things back in order? Write it down. Write it down and make sure that you are not only writing down those things that you want for yourself, but also write down and journal about some things that you want for your family. You know, there are some things that if you're wanting to see changes in your family, write it down, but don't just stop at that. Have those conversations about it. I got tickled at Chase on Thanksgiving Day because he came to me and he said, Mommy, tell them that I have something to say. And so, and I was like, okay, okay, Chase, okay. So, and he didn't let me forget it. He was like, tell them I have something to say. And so, and when Chase got everybody's attention, he said, it's time for a family meeting. Now, Chase is 8 years old, but Chase knows about family meetings. He knows about when there is an issue or when there is something to be discussed. We have family meetings and you talk about it, okay? That's wise. That's wisdom. That's an 8 year old, you all. We're adults on here. If you have some things that you need to talk about, if there are some things that are out of balance, guess what? Have a family meeting. Let's talk about these things. Let's get those things back together. But going back to what I was saying, and again, thank you all for being here with me on tonight. We have about 3 more minutes, and I'm trying to look and see if there is any things that you all have put in the chats about harmony and balance and different things. What are some of the things that you do? What are some of the secrets that you may have to making sure that you're balancing work, you're balancing family, you're balancing your personal time? Not only what are some of the things that you're doing, but what are some of the challenges? So even if you don't respond here, I want you to go away thinking about what are some things that you can do in order to bring yourself back into balance. And as I was talking about the journal, listen, if you don't have the journal, not last week, but a couple of weeks ago, I gave a journal away to some of my viewers. If you do not have a journal and if you would like a journal, comment make a comment and let me know that you would like a journal, but you have to tell me what are some of the things that you're doing to balance your life. And so give me some answers, give me some feedback, and let me know what you're doing to balance your life. And guess what? Or what are some of the challenges? What are some of the challenges that you're having with balancing your life? And guess what? I will be sending out a couple of free journals. And guess what? I thought about this as I was just coming on. And one of the things that I was saying is balance is the key to harmony in your life. So discipline is a key factor. Exactly, Lysander. Thank you for joining us, classmate. Discipline is a key factor. One of the things that I also want to give away tonight is a bottle of Harmony. My daughter, who is the owner, her and her husband, of Soul Peppers, that is their new blend, their new seasoning blend that they came out, and it's called Harmony. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, another giveaway. So I will be giving away a bottle of Harmony on tonight and also one of my journals. So again, thank you all so very much for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Please like, share, follow me here on Facebook. I'm on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'm only on for about 30 minutes. I want to just kind of give you some tips and some strategies and give you some information. I need some harmony in my life. Thank you. Yes, Miss Linda. Yes. Okay. I got you. I got you covered, Miss Linda. So grandstanding again, only 30 minutes. I hope you all have enjoyed grandstanding with Mother Teresa on tonight. Like, share this live with some of your people. Let them know that, hey, if you're missing Mother Teresa on Tuesday nights, you are missing a treat. So thank you all again for joining me. I will see you all on next Tuesday. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, Miss Linda. Thank you, Miss Tina. Thank you, Felicia. I saw Felicia Hyde in here earlier. Yes. Felicia, if you're still there, thank you so much for joining me. Lysander, of course, my family. Thank you all so very much. Tina Samuels, I'm glad that you tuned in tonight. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody, like and share. Like and share. You have a good night too, Miss Linda. Bye-bye, everybody.